Welcome to the Lunch Table, your one and only exclusive lunchtime podcast.
All right, boys. So, the other day at work, and I get other people's groceries that they order. My guy ordered 2 things of 52 fluid ounces of lotion. And you know what the next thing on the order is?
What?
Just take a wild guess.
Tissues.
Yes, a 4-box thing of tissues. It's not November, my guy. You can't be doing that.
That's definitely not what it was for, but that's still hilarious.
I was so dead.
Dear God.
So this got me thinking, like, what kind of experience have you guys had at your work? Because I've had quite a few.
I've got a good one, man. This weird. So I work like the register, I'm like getting the cleaning done, getting ready to close up the lobby and everything. This like weird, this weird dude. He's super old and like dirty. He's got like dirt all over him, and this man is barefoot. Okay, he walks in 7:50 at night, and he's like, he doesn't even say anything. He just kind of grumbles at me while I'm mopping the floor. I'm like, I hope you're right over here, and I point in the direction of the register, and I go around like the counter so I can go ask him what he wants, right? Mm-hmm. It's pretty clear to me at this point that this man doesn't even want to order because he immediately is just like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? And I was just like, yeah, sure, of course. I'm just telling him, yeah, right, because I don't really want to get shot or like attacked. So I'm just like, yeah, of course. He's like, that's good. You're being a good boy. And he like pulls out this cross from his pocket. And I'm like, so can I help you with anything? And he's like, no, as long as you believe in Jesus Christ, I'm happy. And he just walks out. And he's got like dirty ass bare feet and it's like getting dirt all over the floor. I literally just mopped and it's like, why? Who is this man?
Oh, God.
It's the strangest experience I've ever had.
He just walked in and he's just like, do you believe in Jesus Christ? Was this guy
like dirty, bro? Like dirty. Like he was covered in dirt and he was barefoot.
Like he was just rolling around in mud, basically.
Yeah, and he had like this really thick southern accent.
Was he wearing like beat up, like ripped up clothes? Like, did he look homeless?
He was wearing like work pants, like that you see like construction people wearing, like the thick work pants, and he just had like a t-shirt on.
So he went from like his construction job to Arby's to go ask about Jesus.
Somewhere in between, he ditched the shoes though.
Nah, he lost shoes in the concrete. He's definitely on something.
He took like acid and he went into the mud and he's like, this is the holy juices, it will help me.
Bro, did you see his eyes? How big were his pupils?
I did not look that man in the eye. I did not want to die that day, man. I was avoiding eye contact at all costs with that guy.
Was he paler than like normal people's skin?
I couldn't tell, man. He was so dirty.
Oh, God. Man probably came out of the woods and was just like, I need Arby's.
So, Justice, what about you? Have you had any weird experiences?
Nah, man.
So, I guess, I had another one. This was honestly my weirdest experience I've ever had. So, I'm walking out the back with my cart about to do my next set of orders. So this woman stops me and she's like, hi, will you be my white boyfriend?
What?
And I'm just like, what did you say, ma'am? And she's like, will you be my white boyfriend? And I'm like, Then she's like, you can't see with these masks on when people smile, but you can see it in their eyes when they smile. I'm like, yeah. She's like, will you smile for me? And I smile, and she's like, see, I can see it in your eyes. You can see it in my eyes when I smile. And then she's like, I hate my black boyfriend. He's so abusive and mean to me. And I'm like, do you need any help with anything, ma'am? And she's just like, will you be my white boyfriend? And I'm like, I gotta go do my thing. And then she's like, but he's so abusive and mean to me. And this is at about like 11 a.m. And she was definitely like zoinked on something. I've never felt so uncomfortable in my
I
entire
would not know
life.
what to do.
I didn't know what to do. Like, what do you do in that situation?
I would just been like, no, you need anything?
That's what I was like. I was just like, you need any help with anything? And she's like, no. Will you be my white boyfriend? I don't know. That was definitely an odd experience. Ray, have you had a Karen before at work?
No. Literally,
I've had a few.
the only people who come to my workplace are like old dudes.
I've had a few because like I get like a lot of people because of the grocery store, and and everyone needs groceries. So, but like one in particularly like got me because it was this woman and she's like asking about stocking, and I'm like, sorry, ma'am, I don't do stocking. I'm not really sure where to get that in the back. If you went up to the front, they could get someone, or they could get it out of the back for you. But I have like, and we were behind this day for our shopping, and I was like, we're just really busy, and I can't do that for you at the moment. And she was like, no, you're gonna do that for me. No, you must do it for me. And I was like, and she's like, go get your manager. And I'm like, well, my manager is the Aisles Online manager, and they do Aisles Online. They don't know stocking either. Then she was like, you're gonna do this. And she literally kept saying, you're gonna do this like over and over and over again. And then eventually she was like, what's your name? And then like I flashed my name tag, and then she was like, all right, well, I'm gonna go to the front and put in a complaint about you. I was like, well, you could have walked to the front 5 minutes ago and you could have had what you wanted by now, but now you're gonna walk to the front to put a complaint in. Logic. Gotta love people.
That's tough. I saw Karen at Noodles, the restaurant Noodles company or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just chilling there with somebody. We were eating mac and cheese. And there's this like woman next to us, and she was like extremely overweight. And she had a child with her, and the child was also extremely overweight. And they both had the Karen haircut, both the kid and the mom. And they're like, it was like the Karen, like the Karen haircut was like short and like tapers up. And then they both had black hair, and then it was like dyed like bright pink. And I was just like, oh god. Like as soon as I sat down next to them, I immediately knew they're gonna do something. And I just looked over to Ellie, and I'm like, I guarantee you something's gonna happen with these two people right here. And the dude the waiter comes. He's like this young kid. Like he looks like he's younger than me, like 16. He comes up, he serves them their mac and cheese, and she opens it up and she's like, "Wait, don't walk away." And I'm like, "Here it goes." She's like, "Come back here." And the guy's like, you could just see the guy's like, "Oh shit." So he goes up to her and she's like, "I'm not happy with this mac and cheese. There's not enough cheese in it." And the guy's like, "Oh, well, I didn't make it. I can try to find out if we can get you a new one." And she's like, didn't want to let him get her a new one. Like she just wanted to sit there and yell at him. She's just like, "I've been going to this restaurant for years, and back when I used to come, there used to be tons of cheese in the mac and cheese, and now there's like no cheese in it. Why do you guys stop putting cheese in it?" And he's like, "Ma'am, I don't make it. I don't know." The kid already knew what she's gonna say. So the kid's like, "Do you want to speak to my manager?" And she's like, "Absolutely." And then he's like, "Okay." And he goes and gets the manager. And then the manager comes out, and she's just like, "We can get you some new mac and cheese or not if you want." And she's like, "Yes, please, and put more cheese in it. I want lots of cheese, and I want a refund." And the manager's just like, "Well, unfortunately, I can't give you a refund, but I can get you a new dish." And she's just like, "That's ridiculous. I didn't get enough cheese. This is a waste of my time. I want a refund." And Ellie had to leave at that point, so we had to go. So unfortunately, I didn't see the end of it, but that was the first time I ever saw Karen in her natural habitat. She was like complaining about the amount of cheese in the mac and cheese, and I literally ordered the mac and cheese. It was completely fine. Okay.
I mean, like, honestly, why couldn't they just like go get some melted cheese and just like pour it on there? Wouldn't that just solved it right there?
Yeah, I don't know, but she wanted a refund apparently. But that's just...
It sounded like she really just wanted a free meal.
Yeah.
No, it sounds like she got spit in her food. That's what it sounds like. When they went back to make that second batch, someone did something to it, okay?
They spit in it and then put like yellow food dye in the spit so she thinks it's
The
cheese.
saddest part is the daughter was just sitting there, just awkwardly, like looking down at her food the whole time, like she's embarrassed by her mom, dude.
Oh, don't worry, I've been there. Oh
Oh
my.
god.
Like, my parents are most definitely the Karen
Oh
type.
god.
So, like, I don't think they're full blown, like, they won't totally, like, flip out, but, like, it gets bad. And, like, with my food allergies, like, sometimes they'll mess it up, and it's like, I get it, like, you don't often get kids in there with food allergies. You're not always gonna
Mm-hmm.
get it right. One experience that was really bad, and like I feel like my dad was valid in flipping out. It's generally not my dad, but like this time was valid. And so we're at Burger King, right? And they give us like one with the bun, and he's just like, "You can't have the bun. We said this. Can you get a new one?" And they go back there, and you can like see back into the bag,
Mm-hmm.
and they're about to. And they're like taking the bun off, and then they're like putting the patty back in there, and I can't have that obviously because it's like contaminated.
Mhm.
And my dad says, "You can't do that. It still has like the wheat on it. He's still gonna have an allergic reaction." They went like, "Oh no, we're just saving the patty for later." I assume that meant they were like gonna, and then they were like, "Yeah, we'll just save it for later and give it to another customer." I was just like, "What? That's disgusting. What the fuck?"
What?
So we got a newly cooked burger, and then I don't go to that Burger King anymore. I assume they were just using that like as like a cover up, so then it wasn't that they were gonna give me the contaminated patty, but like to the same time that was probably worse than giving me the contaminated patty. So you kind of screwed yourself.
Mhm.
I don't know. Most of the time when I go to fast food restaurants, it feels like the people are stoned up front, anyways. Speaking of people stoned up front, what do you think, like, if you were a parent, how would you punish your kid, or would you, if they were drinking or smoking under the age of 18, like when they were still in your household? How would you address that, or how would you want to be addressed as a child?
I would not punish them.
Like, no matter
I
what.
do close to what my parents did.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't punish them.
So you wouldn't punish them no matter what, like no matter what it was or the age.
Depends
I mean, if they're
on
shooting
the
heroin, I'd
actual
probably not be
drug,
okay
and it
with
does
that.
depend on the age. But like, if they're like a teenager, in high school, and they go, "Oh yeah, I tried this," or I catch them, at most, I'm just gonna take it from them and use it myself. Like,
Responsible parenting 101.
no, I'm gonna teach them to still be careful. I'm just gonna be like, okay, you can do it, but if I catch you doing it, then you have to give me part of it.
Oh my god.
No, because I feel like wanting them to hide it from you causes more problems than it solves.
No, but I feel like a big problem is that if parents are just okay with it, you subject your kid to making it think that it's completely okay, so they start to be less careful. You want them to still be
The
careful and still be jittery.
like
Yeah.
they just like they're like, yeah, you can do it. Just if I catch you, it's gonna be a problem. Just make sure you don't let me see that you're
Yeah.
doing it.
Well, I would rather have my kids like invite their friends over and spend the entire night at my house and like smoke and drink
Oh god.
rather than be out at like a big party where they could get in trouble with the cops or like go out and drive and
Here's the
do
problem
it.
with that though.
Like,
Like, what if there's a kid who like gets alcohol poisoning on your property?
that's true, but then I guess
Then
like
you're
I
facing
would like
some
You didn't
problems.
know.
that's what I'm saying. Like, I'm not saying I would sit there and like watch them do it. I would just like kind of hint that's what I want them to do. Like, if I know something's up,
Just
I
be
would
like,
just be
you
like,
guys
oh, why
need to
don't
spend the
you and
night.
your friends come over here for the night? You know? Do it without doing it.
Or just randomly just like knock on the door and just be like, if any of you need to spend the night, go right ahead. And then just leave it at that.
Well, and yeah, I get what you mean, right? But, like, the odds of someone having alcohol poisoning with a bunch of, like, 16-year-olds, like, probably not gonna
It
happen.
literally just
Like, it
happened,
could.
though.
Nick, it happened twice in one night.
Okay, what happened?
Do you know who? From
Who?
Orfordville, Parkview.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Him, you're gonna have to cut that out, right?
Yeah, I will.
But okay, so him and then from Parkview also both got alcohol poisoning in the same night, and we had to actually call the cops for one of them because he was about to die. We were actually told later that he would have gone into a coma if we didn't do anything.
Jesus. Oh, I did hear about that, but, you know, I don't know. Like, was that like a real, that was like a real party, you know?
Yeah, there was like
Yeah,
10 people at it.
that's my point. Like, 5 people in a bedroom at a house, it probably won't happen. That's why I would rather have them doing it in my house under my or like under my control, because like they're not gonna bring in enough alcohol to really get alcohol poisoning, you know? Like, it will be like one bottle, and then I'll like supervise, you
Okay,
know?
so
Just
Supervise
don't do
without
so
supervising.
you're gonna be okay with it, but not like to the extent that okay with it.
Exactly. Like, I'm gonna be like, I want you to be responsible with it on your own, but I know you're not going to be. So I'd rather have you in my house doing it, supervising it, without supervising, you know?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. I'd probably be like Johnny Depp was to his kids,
What?
where it's the thing where, well, there was this actual thing where Johnny Depp with his daughter said that if you're at a party and and something is being passed around like a joint, like marijuana, then feel free to say no, pass it to the next person. But when you do want to actually take an actual hit, do it with me first so you know how you're going to react later on. And so that you're in a safe place where you know what you're being given, where you know what's going to happen.
Well, I guess my question also is like an age. What's an age where you guys feel like it's acceptable?
If you're in elementary school, then you should not be doing it.
I feel like once you're 18, it's not in your parents' place to like stop you from doing anything.
Well,
If you're
yeah, I know.
yeah. But I'm saying if
I'm
I'm gonna catch my kids anywhere from if anything below like their freshman year, I'd be very disappointed.
I would be concerned even as freshman year, because I see most of the people around me who are like, I feel like are too much into drugs or alcohol started freshman year or earlier, and then kind of like if someone tried to hit or something freshman year, I wouldn't be that worried. It would be like if mine is probably like once you hit 16 is kind of the age where I'm like, so like around like halfway through sophomore year where I'm like, fine. But then at the same time, 16 is kind of scary because then I don't want them driving with it.
I'd say 15, 16.
I don't know. I would say definitely not freshman year, maybe sophomore, preferably like a little bit sophomore, and then like junior year, then go for it.
Oh,
I
right.
But like,
have the idea that like I will tell my kids if I ever catch you driving and you're under the influence, you will get a beating. There's no in between. There's no excuse for it whatsoever.
I feel like that's why I want to be like open with them to know that like if you come and ask me, say you're like not capable of driving right now and you say that to me, I will not get you in trouble. I will be happy with you. I will probably reward you. I'll bring an extra bottle in the car just so you can have some more fun. You know? Like,
What's funny is this is literally how my parents act towards me. I already have this experience.
I feel like, why do I feel like Will Fong is just gonna be the strangest parent in the world? Imagine Will Fong. Imagine Will Fong being your father, Justice. Just take a minute and picture that.
I don't think Wolfong is capable of having kids.
I can always adopt. I don't need a woman.
Oh God.
That makes it even creepier. Just saying. Oh, the weird dude across the street adopted a kid. How great.
But like, I don't know. I feel like I would be a chill parent.
Maybe. I feel like you'd rage though a lot.
It runs in the family.
Just out of nowhere, you'll just suddenly start freaking out.
No, I will try my absolute best not to be because I know that I didn't enjoy that when I was a kid, and I feel like bad or like tough or like strict or just plain old bad parents generally breed nice parents from their experiences, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's not entirely. That's if the actual people below them want to change. Because you realize that there's an entire like trend of physical abuse because your parents physically abused you. So then you think that the correct term of punishment is to physically abuse your kids, and it just keeps
Well,
on.
and people like want revenge, you know? Like my parents did this to me, and now it's like my turn to do it to you,
Nice.
you know? But like I don't have that mindset. I want to be different.
Isn't that literally
I don't
Nick?
want.
Isn't that literally how your brothers were?
Yeah, I know. Alex wouldn't surprise me if he was,
Your
that
mom,
way.
your mom got pissed off at Alex, so Alex would always get pissed off at Zach, and then Zach got pissed off at you.
Or sometimes he would just skip Zach and just go straight to me. Depends who was closer. It was definitely an interesting childhood, but like I don't know. So mine would be like, I guess if I had to summarize my rules on it, it would be 16. You can kind of start off and ease into it. Be safe. No driving. No big parties. Have your friends over, and I'll be fine with it.
You're not gonna let them go to any
That would
big parties at 16.
Thing, but like I will say,
No,
15 and
I
above
would not let them
starting.
go to big parties at 16.
Damn.
And if you're gonna go to a big party and you need like if you need to drive home, feel free to tell me. I won't be mad at you. But if you're planning to go to a party or something, please refrain from telling me that information beforehand.
I feel like it.
Because I won't exactly be the most open minded to
I feel like it
just,
depends on their gender too, because
that is
it's
That's
gonna be a lot
definitely true.
more
I
dangerous
would be
for them.
much more scared.
Yeah.
I
When
would
I
be
when I
much
think
more
about
scared.
when I think about myself at 16, I'm like, it's fine. But then when I think about like a 16-year-old girl, I'm like, oh, that's sketch.
let's have a few more rules then.
Yeah. I feel like I agree,
feel
Nick. I
like
feel like I agree with Nick's rule if it's a girl. But I think I would move it down a year if it was a boy. Maybe even
Move
2
it down a
years.
year and allow bigger
I
like
feel like if it was
not
no.
big parties like go in Madison and be in a party like that, but like the parties that we have, like that's one thing. Like that's not like
true.
extremely big. You know everyone
It
there
also
type
depends.
thing.
It also depends on where we end up living in the future too.
That is very true.
That's what I mean. Like, I would let my kid go. Like, if I lived in a small town, I would let them go to like one of our town parties. Like, if I heard they were going to something out of town, their ass would be strapped to the bed. Like, no, you're not
No,
leaving, because that's when
If it
shit
was
goes
in
bad.
a town, I'd only care if it was in a fucking like city. Like if you live in a city and your kid's like, I'm gonna go to a party, and it's like, okay, who's there? What's gonna be there? because it's a city. You're more likely to be exposed to more likely to get roofied at a bigger party from the city too. Like,
Yeah, I would definitely be more scared if I had a daughter. I don't want to have a daughter. I'm afraid of that.
It's true.
I don't know how I would like. I feel like I would raise a daughter to be like a boy.
oh my god.
Like I feel like I don't know how. I wouldn't know how
Yeah,
to.
Sam.
Th-
That'd be weird.
The other night though,
I
just being like, "Don't be a hoe."
I remember that.
who was she
I
saying
remember
that
that.
to?
He said that to so many different people. She just kept like going to different girls and being like, "Just don't be a hoe,
Bro,
okay?
she was
Don't
dissing.
be a hoe."
She was
Yeah,
like, that little girl was doing things to my man. I never liked her. I mean, just like, damn. She came up and talked to me, and her face was like 2 inches from my face, bro. I was sitting in a chair, and she was just like had her face like 2 inches from me. I was just like,
It's not okay.
bro, you don't even realize when we walked in there, there were empty, full bottles like everywhere.
yeah.
I saw at least 6 empty bottles.
You didn't know who she was whatsoever.
Well, she has me on
I,
Snapchat now.
yeah, she made us add her.
And later on, she asked us both if we had girlfriends. We both said yes, and she's like, "Oh fuck, why'd you give me your snap then?"
Me and Ray just looked at each other like, I don't know. We were nice, I guess.
You asked for it, you know. So to just summarize the last topic, and then we can move on to the next one. What what would your guys' be summary of your rules with your kids and parties and drinking?
Like depends on gender, but let's just assume it's a boy. Then I'd say 15, starting to like be introduced almost. Keep an I'd keep an open mind with them. I'd say if you don't feel comfortable doing it right away around your friends or anything, you're fine. I'd be fine with like having your first experience be with me or anything, but I'm not gonna obligate you to. I know how weird that is. And then I'd be like, so just be safe. Don't drive ever, or you will be beaten. Like that is not okay.
Okay, Ray.
I think it depends on like the kid, honestly, because like they could be
That's
they
probably
could be
true.
like a really capable like independent child, or they could be like some
That
weakling like who can't even like take care of himself. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
I feel
Yeah,
like if the kid's like some like wimp who like doesn't even
like
know how to
having
like take care
Hunter
of
as a
themselves,
kid.
like they can't even, I don't know, then I probably would put more restrictions on them. But if they seem like
I
they're
feel like that's what my parents act like I am. You know.
yeah.
Yeah, so I guess that sums that up. And one last thing for me to add, like anything past weed or alcohol, that's a no, no, and no nicotine because that there's just no point to it. I've always thought like jewels are stupid.
Mm,
Like they don't do anything
Yeah,
good for you, and they're
I
addictive
agree.
and they're bad for you. So like,
I don't get the point of
nothing
it.
like that. I'd say for I wouldn't actually tell it to them. I'd say don't go past weed or alcohol. But if I found out that they did like shrooms or like acid or something, I wouldn't really give a shit. If I'm gonna be,
I would be a bit angry.
I'd
I would
feel
say
like
save a couple
I'd
of
ask them
if
what
you
the circumstances were and why they decided to do it, like and what happened, and if they were gonna do it again and like stuff like that. But other than that, I wouldn't. I'd be like,
I would probably say when you're out on your own, if you want to try a couple of those harder things once or twice, I'm not gonna stop you. I'm not gonna get angry if I hear that you did them. But here, when you're living in my house, no, absolutely not.
I really wouldn't
Because
care. If I'm gonna be completely honest, something like acid or LSD or shrooms, don't go any bit past that. Like, don't be doing DMT and shit like that. But the like little psychedelic things, crazy and horrible as most people think. It's nearly impossible to overdose on it, even if you. But it's kind of like if you smoke too much weed. Like if you do too much, yeah, it's gonna feel like you're gonna fucking die, but you're not gonna actually die.
Oh god.
But like it's not gonna do anything too fucking crazy or bad. Like
Yeah.
I feel like once
Alright.
they're 17, they can do whatever they want. I don't care.
yeah,
For me personally, like if they want to do cocaine, I'm gonna be like, that's pretty stupid, but it's your life.
No, no. I feel like it's their life once they leave my house.
I'll tell
Once
you
they go
something
off to
happened.
college, if they want to try hard drugs, that's
I
their
mean, you're not gonna be
problem,
able to
but then
stop
I'm
them
not
though.
gonna support you.
Like, what are you gonna do about it? If they really want to try cocaine at 17, there's not much you can do about it, Nick. They're gonna do it.
If anything, from my experience, the more that you tell your kid not to do something, the more likely they are to do it.
Yeah, kind of.
Well, all I would do is I would just like sit them down and be like, "You did this. You lose rights now because it was just stupid. And I'm not
Yeah,
gonna
but they're
take
not gonna
everything
think that.
away for like ever, but I'm gonna be like, you're grounded for months. You lose your phone for a week, Xbox for a week, stuff like that.
Well,
Just be like, this was stupid, and and like I'm gonna try and be the type of parent that doesn't like like when you have that teacher who like when they're pissed off, you know big time because they never get pissed off. That's what I want to be as like a parent. Whereas like when my parents get really pissed off, it's like, well, this is another day for me. Like they do this like at least once a day. So it's like whatever. It's not a big deal that they're screaming so loud the neighbors are texting me, "Are you okay?" Okay. Like
my point is just that how many times did it happen where your parents grounded you severely, and what was the one thing you wanted to do right after they grounded you? The thing they grounded you for. I'm gonna do it anyway. So like you shouldn't be too harsh on something that
I
they
feel like
did.
I feel like
Just be like, I am very
instead of
shouldn't have
saying you
done it.
can't do something and like punishing them for doing things, you should probably just try to teach them early on why it's bad and then let them make decisions for
Yeah.
themselves.
well, yeah, I'm gonna do that, and then if they still decide to do it, I'm gonna be like, well, I'm sorry. Like, there has to be some sort of punishment with children, but it's just like, I feel like
I don't know, like
my parents made the mistake of punishing me for every little
I think there should be
detail.
punishment
Where
up until a
that
certain
doesn't
age.
work.
Like I feel like once you're like 16,
Because when,
you shouldn't be punishing them anymore, I don't think.
There's
I don't know, I
no
feel like
punishment
still
for
for big stuff.
that. Once you reach like that age of 15, 16, if you keep punishing them, they're just gonna turn to hate you. They're not It's not gonna help
I
any
mean,
manner at
they're
all.
like basic, they're like
Not gonna
almost
teach
adults at
them
that point.
something.
You can't really be punishing adults. It just doesn't seem right. Like they're making their own decisions.
I don't know.
They're gonna
I
learn their
still
lessons.
get yelled at for leaving stuff on the floor.
They're
So,
gonna start
like,
learning lessons. They're gonna start learning lessons from their own mistakes by that point in time. I feel like it's not really your job to punish them anymore.
It's kind of
I don't know.
job. Anyway,
I feel like it is still the parent's job as long as they're in the household to teach.
To teach, yeah, but not
And
necessarily
maybe
punish.
to punish and punishment, like using punishment as a teaching guide. Like, I'm not gonna, if my kid does cocaine, I'm not gonna like strap him to the bed, take everything away from him, and say, "Ha, you're stuck there. You go to school and you come back. That's it." I'm not gonna do that. I'm gonna be like, I don't generally get pissed off. I would be screaming at them at this point because, like, to show that they were like, "You're not gonna do this again. I'm gonna do this time, and if you do this again, you you won't have my support once you leave this household." Because I feel like that is the one big thing as a parent, because most kids can't afford school on their own. Most kids won't get loans without a cosign of a parent. So I feel like if I totally take that away from if I threaten to take that away, that's like the one big punishment that I could give them. If, but only like obviously
I would never take a cosign of a loan away from a kid, because what is the kid going to do? Oh, you're going to take away my loan? Then I'm just not going to go to college. What are you going to do? I'm 18. I'm just going to move out anyway.
That's what I'm trying to do, though. I'm trying to give them, like, this is your life. You can choose this way or this way. Which way do you want to
No,
choose?
but taking away a loan from them, a possibility to go to college, and that's what they needed to go to college, takes away any opportunity of them being successful.
But that's what I mean. That's why I'm saying you don't do this or I'm going to do this.
Yeah, but what if they do it and then you just boom, door shut, they're not going to be successful. They're probably going to be a drug addict and ruin their life because you decided, "Oh, that was not the right decision at that time." They could have turned their life around and could have went
Yeah,
back,
refusing to
but just
cosign
because that
refusing to cosign for their loan is probably worse than them doing cocaine in the first place.
exactly. You ruin the opportunity for them to turn their life around, so now they don't really have an option to.
Okay, let me explain. So, I wouldn't, like, never, ever, ever support them again. Like, it would be like, okay, I'm taking your cosign away, and then, or I'm not paying for your school, maybe I'll co-sign the loan, and then you have to pay me it all back or something like that. And then if they then go prove to me that they're not going to continue, they do continue until they come to the point where they realize they're like back, then I'm not going to. Because, like, because if they continue to get what they want, they're not going to fix it. And I've seen it, and I know this is true because I've seen it with someone, and I'm not going to say who. They come back, they get support from their parents, they go off on back. It's a repeating loop. This person is coming on 25 years old.
Oh yeah.
They're not living a successful
For
life
me, once they're
anymore,
18,
and
they're on
I'm
their
not
own.
gonna have that for my kid.
I'm not.
Okay, that's a different scenario though. What I'm saying is like that's just their parents not being strict enough. That's a completely different story. I'm saying that just suddenly shutting the door automatically because
I'm not suddenly shutting the door. If my kid does cocaine for a second time after I told them and warned them this is not going to happen again, and they went off and did it again, they're on a path to drugs. Like their whole life being drugs. If you're doing cocaine at the age of 17, that's not the right path. And I'm sorry if you believe that's wrong, but it's just not. If you're doing cocaine at 17, you're not on the right path. And I'm trying to re-guide them. And if they continue to choose that path, I'm going to let them choose that path till they realize it's the wrong path. And no matter how long that takes,
Yeah, but
and no matter how hard
you're not letting the
it
path itself punish them though. You're like trying to make it seem bad itself.
you're literally closing any opportunity for them to come back
Like, what
from.
if it's Nick? What if you're wrong and they can deal with it? What if they can do cocaine and still be successful in college? What if you're wrong? You don't know.
And then
I
you
would
just
be
shut the
shocked.
door
You'd be
to be able
shocked, but
for
let
them
them
to
find
go
out for
to
themselves that's not going to work.
But then, okay, so then I'm wasting my money and their time and everything
See, that's
because
that.
because I'm risking that you can still be successful on cocaine. I'm showing them, no, you don't do cocaine. That is not how you be successful. You will learn from this on your own, or you won't. Now it's up to you.
sign a loan, you're not going to be the one who's going to be paying for it. It's going to be the student that's going to be paying for the loan. You're just giving them the opportunity to get the loan.
But if they can't pay for it, you got to pay
I
for it
think
though.
That is true. Well, still, like my point is that like just suddenly being like, "Oh, you did cocaine that one time or that second time or whatever." Like cuz
I don't think that's sudden. If they're going down a path of cocaine, I think that's pretty bad. And
but I think you
you
should, if you're going down a path of cocaine, tell them why it is what they're doing can lead to, and then give them an opportunity like, oh, maybe you're addicted to it. Here's an opportunity for you to not be addicted to it anymore. Not just going, okay, you decided to do it those 2 times. I'm just going to kick you to the curb and let life figure it out for you.
no.
Not give you
See, you've got the idea wrong. You've got the idea totally wrong here.
right?
Okay, so
Was that
I'm
basically what he just said?
no, it wasn't because you're saying that I'm not explaining to them what the problem is, or I'm
No,
not
I'm
giving
saying you
them the
do
option.
explain it to them. I'm just saying that right after they decided to do it those couple times, or that second time or whatever, you just decided to not allow them to have any more like support or anything from you. That was
No, so this is what I meant by like they come back to me. Like I would say I will help you like fix your problem, and then once it's fixed, I will let you go from there. I would do that. Like I wouldn't. That's what I meant. Like by come
So
back to me. Like
Nick, this
not
is where I think Nick's coming from. So he's just saying like you have to meet a certain number of requirements for me to fund your college, essentially, and those requirements include
yeah.
not being
yes,
addicted to cocaine. And I'm not going to fund your college until you prove to me that you're not addicted to cocaine.
exactly.
Okay, that makes
That
more sense.
if he like that's what I meant by like the strike rule. If he tries it, so obviously like tell him before that, explain to him like when he first gets to that age that he might like
Well,
try
there
stuff.
is also
Like
the
explain
fact
to him
that when they get to college, you are more likely to try those things in college.
here's how it would basically go. Like if I would warn them before or doing it. Like obviously when they came to that age, warn them about the side effects and what I definitely don't want them to do and what I would be okay with them doing. And then if they did it once, I would be like, okay, I already told you the side effects. You know them. I'll go over them again. If you need help, I'll get you help. But if you go out there and do this again and I catch you, support's gone until you who decide that's not the life choice you want to choose. And then if they went and did it again, then they would be off on their own till they came back and made the conscious decision this is not the life path I want to choose. And it would be the same way if they went out and did it in college. Granted, then I would probably have to pay for their college and I wouldn't have to come up with a way that they could give me some of the money back. But for the most part, it would be you have to earn your way for my support once you get at a certain age. If you're making terrible life choices, I'm not going to support you till you start realizing those are terrible life choices. Not that I'm just going to be like, you made one bad choice, you're totally cut off, because I'm going to give them fair
I think
warning.
both of you
And
have pretty reasonable ideologies here. Justice, I think, is just kind of saying that he'll pay for the college either way, but and it's kind of up to the kid, you know.
Well, I'm not gonna pay for the college like I'm saying I'm not gonna a whole like I'm saying I will give them cash money for the college so I don't have to fucking worry about debt later on to myself.
So you're gonna leave it up to them to like build their credit and stuff, so you don't have to co-sign, but you'll give them some startup money.
Yes. I will give them actual cash to start up to be able to and I'll help them find ways to be able to get good credit to be able to do it.
Yeah.
To set up I will basically help them set up their life. What they do from there is up to them.
I just have some quick little advice for you guys. I just recently found this out. You can actually co-sign your children credit cards at a young age. Like Ellie's parents literally got her a credit card when she was 13, and it makes me really jealous because my parents did not do that, and I lived to build on my own.
that is probably a good thing to
Yeah.
have. Yeah, I don't know. I've never had a credit card, so yeah, that probably would have been useful.
I do feel like
I guess.
well, the main thing is though that when you do give your kid a credit card, they need to be responsible enough to do it. Like
Right. What you could do,
Yeah,
what
that
you could do
can't
is you
just
could
give your
sign them
kid a
up.
credit card and then they go out and buy something that you're just like, really, dude? You bought all this shit in a week?
No, what you could do is
What
you
the
could get
fuck?
them a credit card for them and not actually give it to them. And just kind of cheat the system and use it yourself and just build up their credit score until they're like 15 or 16, however old they have to be to realize what it does,
Ah,
and then you could give it to them.
that you could do that too, yeah. I
or
was
like
more
only let
I'll
them
give
use
you this credit
let them
card.
use it, but only let them use it in your presence.
Uh-huh.
Like you have the card physically, but then like if you go to the store and they want to get something, then you give them the card and then they can use it, and then they just like pay you the cash for it.
I feel like financial
I give
knowledge is
them
really not
the
something that's
amount.
touched on enough in school, so I feel like that's kind of up to the parents to teach quite a bit.
Yeah, I'd give them like a set amount, and then if they go past that, then it gets taken away. Like you can't just be like if it goes like $1 over or something, that's one thing, you know. Like I'll ask them what caused it to be over that, but if they go way over the amount that I set for them, they don't get the credit card again. And I'll just slowly build up a little bit of the credit. I'll make them think that it's going to be have worse repercussions than it does, but later I'll just
Yeah,
here you go, here's it back. Your credit is fine. I was just saying you don't get to have the
Yeah,
credit card anymore because you decided
give
to
them
buy
a
stupid shit.
give them a debit card and tell them it's a credit card.
Oh my
Just see how they
god.
react to it and see if they just blow all their money right away like an idiot.
Yeah, just set up
yeah.
a small account that has like $200 in it, and if they just quickly blow all the money, be like, "Hey,
I'm a proper Jewish boy.
that'd be some funny shit though."
You know, I'm a proper Jewish kid, so I'm very like it physically pains me to spend money. Like you don't understand. Like when I'm there, I'm like literally at the store about to buy like $2 worth of food for like my break, and I'm like, I don't know, is this worth the money? It doesn't feel worth the money.
Yeah, Sam, the reason the part of the reason I've kind of put that into myself is because I've started like creating budgets for all the things I spend money on. Like I have like a food budget, you know, and like a clothing budget. And so I want to like make that budget last until my next payday. So it ends up kind of making me like hesitant before I spend money, and that's pretty nice.
I don't know. Yeah, it really annoys me when people like. I'll just give this example. One of my coworkers at work, um, she we've been working there for about the same time. We get the same pay. She put a 3 grand payment down on a new car she got, and the other 3 grand that she's made in the time when we had this conversation, which was like about a month and a half ago, that she made in that time, she had totally spent it all on like Taco Bell and stupid things like that, makeup or weed or whatever. Like 3 grand. So basically, all she got was a 3 grand payment on a car for like 5 months of work. It was like, Jesus, that's to me, that's like totally wasting your money. I still have like basically all the money. I've probably spent like a couple hundred of the dollars that I've made at work between like getting food and like buying people's presents. But for the
Yeah,
most part, I try and conserve it.
me too.
Yeah,
I have like a savings account for everything I want. I have a college savings account. I have a retirement savings account. I have a car savings account. I even have a savings account for the security deposit on my next credit card I'm gonna get. Like every time I know I'm gonna want something in the future, I start saving for it. And pretty much all my money is in certain savings accounts. I barely spend anything. The only things I do spend it on are basically food and clothes. That's like it.
Yeah, I won't spend it on clothes like or I guess your parents are a little
Yeah, I have to
different
buy
than
my own
mine,
clothes,
but
so it's a
like
little different.
I get I get clothes, but like I've I've been around the same size since sophomore year now, so I don't really like need any new clothes, you
Mhm.
know.
I don't really need any new clothes either. I got a shit.
And I have like for shitty clothes, I have like my brother's hand me downs and stuff, so that's helpful. So the election, President elect Joe Biden and President elect Kamala Harris once, Joe Biden taps out from old dementia. So,
Yeah.
how do you feel?
I'm
Interesting.
Please.
pretty
I
disappointed.
recently looked at all of their campaign goals. Some of them are okay, you know, like cleaning up the earth, trying to do that. I don't know if it's the best idea to do it as quick as they're doing it, or to suddenly change everything, or if, like, them just suddenly cutting to solar. I don't think it's going to be possible for them to do in their term, just because oil companies have so much pull. So, like, a lot of the things they're probably not going to be able to get through anyway, but a lot of their things are a little bit like I feel like a lot of their campaign goals are based on loose facts or not fully drawn ideas from what I was looking at. Like
Well, basically what you're saying is they're goals, but not realistic.
Like, yeah, I understand their goals. I see what they're trying to go for, but some of them are either one unrealistic, or two, they're not educated enough on the subject to make it have a goal. Like, they had a gun violence thing to reduce gun violence, and almost every single thing they said that they wanted it to do is already in place, or the things that they wanted to get rid of don't actually exist. You want to ban assault weapons and extended mags, already exists. What are you trying to prove here?
I don't know. I just don't like the fact that they've won the election on being like the nice guy when every other time Joe Biden has tried to run, he's lost because he's not the nice guy.
Yeah.
And the only reason he's the nice guy is because Trump just cares so little about being the nice guy.
Well, that was the thing that people wanted from Trump. It was that he kind of didn't really care. He was that kind of like uncensored, like he was just who he was basically. He didn't try to
And
downplay it for his election. He was like, "This is who I am. Elect for me or not."
but that's what I did like about Trump, because Biden isn't being, whether it's because of his dementia and he's not right in the head and people are telling him this is who he is, or the fact that he's just doing this to get elected. Either one, this is a changed Biden from the Biden we've seen every other time. I mean,
Yeah.
Biden, there's recordings of him being racist against gay people, against transgenders, and all those people are loving and supporting him, like the black community and
Well,
the
Kamala Harris
transgender
doesn't even
community.
actually like him as a person. She just went into the election
Exactly.
knowing that he was probably going to be elected and she was going to become the president because he's older, has underlying health conditions, and would probably end up passing.
Or at least if he survives his 4-year term, then she'll probably be the most likely person, like not mean survive like that he's gonna die, like if his health condition survives long enough so that he can carry out his 4-year, he definitely won't go another 4 years after that. So then she's most likely gonna be the primed Democratic nominee the next time at least.
I'm looking at the
It'll be,
campaign goals of them, and it seems like a lot of it is just kind of vague. Like, doesn't really explain what his plan
Yeah.
is. It's just
Yeah,
saying,
that's what I was looking at. I was like, they're either vague or they're based on like not the most drawn up. Like, a couple of them, I was just like, okay, I understand your reasoning for wanting this, but that's already a thing. It already exists.
it looks like he's like saying, it seems like he's hiding the fact that people's money is going to be spent on things, like behind just vague phrases. Like he says, he wants to provide a comeback package for Main Street businesses and entrepreneurs. Like he's not stating, like openly stating the fact that he's going to be taking taxpayer money and giving it to people for free.
Yeah, and then it
he
also doesn't.
he
That's what that
tried to
means.
bank off the fact that he's only gonna raise the 1% taxes, but he's not. Like,
There
there's
was,
no way
He's
that it's
hiding.
just gonna be that.
yeah, a lot of
It's
his
just
stuff.
that he's gonna raise that so much that that's gonna be ridiculous. Is he wants just the 1% to pay for everything he has
And then
planned.
there's phrases like this:
Well, there's also a lot of
mobilize
the things on like healthcare.
mobilize American manufacturing and innovation. What does that mean? He doesn't say how he's going to do it.
No, that's a lot of campaign goals don't go into depth, and I don't want to point fingers, but it happens a lot with the Democratic Party as a whole. They tend to put a lot of things out there because it's going to get more votes. Like putting in the LGBTQ, the black rights, the all the different like immigration and stuff like that. I feel like we're more poised to get more votes from those groups more than actually being their running goals that they're going to try to actually achieve. Which
Yeah.
reasonable in a sense, but you still shouldn't have it be. I feel like it shouldn't be there if you're not going to actually fully go hard into actually trying to get it done. Like their healthcare things too have a lot of different things where it's like, oh, it says that it's going to make the people not have to pay, like, not pay out of pocket as much, but it's not going to say how much they might have to pay more taxes for, or how good the quality is going to stay, or how much the government is going to have to spend on it. Like, he was planning
Yeah,
on making Medicare, which is only for people that are 65 and above, for a certain reason, because you can't pay for everyone, and making that available for almost everyone. Like, that's going to take a shit ton of taxes and money to do.
Yeah.
Like,
I don't know. I found it.
exactly say where he's going to pull it from, where the money's going to come from.
I found it weird because one of my liberal friends, like, I mean, it was just Saturday. These people got elected, and she's already complaining about how she wants something for that, like Kamala Harris put transgender women into jail with the males instead of the females when she was like a judge. And like, come on, they got elected 2 days ago. You can't just like celebrate the win and just let that be. Like, you got who you wanted in there, so just let it be that. You know? It's like, I don't know. I found that one of the positive sides of Joe winning is that hopefully America would like calm down and there would be less violence and everything like that. So I would hopefully think that would happen, right? But it doesn't seem to be that way.
Yeah.
Seems like people are just gonna want to complain, you know.
Yeah.
I don't know. I feel like that wraps up this episode. Tell us if you like the topic conversations or not, or if you want, or give us any suggestions for topic conversations. So,
Well,
Might
next up,
have a
on
guest.
our next episode, we're probably going to talk more about the election, other things that are going on. We might
our
do-
next episode, we're gonna have a guest.
Yep.
Yeah, that guest is to be determined, but we're gonna be having a guest on next episode, and we'll probably dive into some current events with them alongside of their history. So, see you in episode 3 then.